My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, their songwriting techniques, and occasionally getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. Welcome to episode 212. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is Oliver Cronin. The Australian singer and producer recently released his debut EP titled Beautiful Nightmare. In today's episode, we're speaking with Oliver about what drew him to production, finding fame overseas, and songwriting regarding mental health. Here we go. Our guest today is a Byron-born singer and songwriter who's already found success across the globe at the age of 20. Earlier this year, his single Boys Don't Cry charted across the world and had 100,000 streams within its first 24 hours of release. Last week, he released his debut EP, Beautiful Nightmare. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, Oliver Cronin. Hello, sir. How are we?
Hello, I'm great. Thank you for having me on this.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. As we were just discussing a second ago before we started recording, you're back in Australia, but you've literally just flown in as of yesterday from Los Angeles.
Yeah, I got back yesterday midday, getting my head around things back home, but it was an incredible trip.
I know that you've been doing some work over in LA, I think possibly working with some producers and songwriters over there. We won't push too much, I guess, for some of that information, but what's the experience been like working with people over there?
Life-changing. I think just the access to the amount of, the talent over there and the networking and, the songs that we wrote, it was just incredible to be there and be amongst the the scene over there. A totally different experience to being in Australia.
I have heard that quite a bit, is that obviously we have quite a beautiful and thriving music scene here in Australia, but that over there it is just next level, that it's like
and it's nothing career. Like it's nothing as Australia or even anywhere. Like it's even like talking to people over there like about New York. Like New York's amazing, but nothing compares to LA. Like just the sheer amount of talent and the amount of people there and the networking is like you walk along the street and you bump into David Dobrik. Like what the hell? It's like things like that will never happen in Australia. So it was really cool.
That's very fair, and I can appreciate that. I do enjoy a David Dobrik video every now and again, so I can appreciate that kind of experience. It is a very exciting time for yourself, Oliver. So again, thank you for being with us. You have just released your debut EP, Beautiful Nightmare. It is out right now as we speak. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, big moment for me.
Of course. How are you feeling now that these songs, they're out in the public, they're available to everyone to listen to?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Like it's been such a big process and such a big moment for me. I've been dreaming of this for years to release a project. So it's actually kind of surreal. Like, and especially because it actually dropped when I was on the plane back home. So like I kind of I haven't really wrapped my head around it, to be honest. Like it's kind of weird. But it's cool because I'm finally at a stage where I'm dropping the music that I love. My favorite songs are on this project, and songs that the fans have been wanting for ages as well. So I'm happy that I can finally show them a taste of what's to come, to be honest, because this is really just the beginning.
That is very exciting news to hear. Are you someone who, I guess, gets nervous when you're about to release new music or drop new music?
Kind of. but at the same time, I think it like because the lead up to dropping is such a massive process and is such a long process. It's kind of like when the song drops, it's like I'm kind of over it. It's like I've been listening to the song for months and months, and you know we've done this whole process, you know, all the marketing for it, all the promotion, and it's like it's out, and it's like okay, on to the next type thing. Like I struggle to be able to like sit back and really like look at it from an outside perspective sometimes, but it is pretty incredible. But yeah, I kind of, it's like now like what's next? This is how I think.
I think that's a pretty normal thing, especially for certain artists where you're as you mentioned, you're kind of sitting on these songs for a period of time. You're already 2 or 3 projects ahead by the time that these come out.
Oh yeah. And especially after making all this like crazy stuff in LA, it's like, man, I just can't wait for that to get out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but it's great. And I like this one's a little bit different for me because I have been wanting to do a project for so long. So it is a pretty special moment for me.
It is, and again, we very much thank you for being with us during this time because it is a special moment for yourself. Some of the listeners of this podcast might know you through your track "Boys Don't Cry." It has been one of the biggest Australian singles, I would say, this year. I know that I think in the first 24 hours, the track surpassed 100,000 listens, which is an incredible feat by any means. Firstly, are you kind of surprised by the reaction or the success of this song?
Yeah, totally. 100%. I mean, like it generated a fair bit of traction on TikTok, so I knew it was going to do okay, but I was sort of like sitting there for the first week, just like on like my Spotify for artists and just literally for like the whole week, I would just watch and just stare at it. And like, is this actually happening? Like, cause I used to like, whenever like, you know, like my idols and my like artists I look up to have like massive moments happen, you see like their Spotify and this, it's like, man, like it'd be crazy to have, you know, 100,000 streams in a day. Like, you know, that's something I've dreamed about. And I was like actually watching it, be like, is this actually real? Like it's crazy. I don't know, even like, I still look at my Spotify like, damn, like, this is really me.
It is. Well, it's kind of exciting. I imagine with something that, especially if it's got as much traction as the track did and has had, that you would kind of be watching it, seeing how well it's going in real time. Like it's kind of the excitement of it.
It's extremely exciting, especially that it was in Germany. It was not all in Germany, but like the main spot was like Germany. And that is like blows my mind that there's hundreds of thousands of people listening to my music in Germany. Like that was to me is so insane. And like, yeah, shout out the internet.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to kind of mention was that it did do well. It seems like it did well in quite a few places, but yeah, overseas, in a few different European countries, it really did seem to kind of like crack quite well.
I can't even. I don't even know how that happened. I mean, I presume it was through TikTok, but like, there was all these like tiny little countries in Europe that were like going crazy for it. It was like charting over like in Czech Republic and Germany and Austria, like Poland. It's like, wow, like this is really cool.
That is, I imagine it can be like quite a interesting feeling because you always want your song to be successful, but knowing that, as you said, the power of the internet, the power of TikTok, that it's kind of connected with these people on the other side of the world, I must imagine is a bit of a unique feeling.
Yeah, it's super unique. It's really, it's like, and I got so many like amazing messages from people, from fans, and like, it's to know that I'm like, you know, touching people, like helping people in Germany through my music is like, that's really cool.
100%. I think just what you said then, helping people, it is a good way to word it. I wanted to touch on the message of the song. The song does deal with, or is kind of referring to men's mental health and stereotypes that kind of play around that. And I was wanting to discuss with you, if you'll allow, like, I guess the inception of that song, or the catalyst, like what originally drove you to write the song.
I think there's such a stigma around men's mental health and about, you know, be a man, don't show emotion, that, you know, there's such a stereotype around that. And I think as as we progress. And I think around that time where I made the song, it was a big focus being like, hold on a minute, like this, like, why is these stereotypes a thing? Why can't boys cry? Why can't boys show emotion? And like, if you look at like the suicide rates, like it's much higher in men. And it's things like, I think not enough people speak on it. Mental health, but men's mental health in particular. And, me with, having a voice and being able to, influence people, I wanted to be able to, show that through my music. And I didn't expect it to actually help as many people as it did, but I'm super grateful for it.
Even reading the comments on TikTok and on Instagram as well, there are a number of people who obviously have been affected in a positive way by the track. When you started out in music, I'd love to know, I guess, you getting into music and songwriting and what initially got you into that, and then how you found your way to, I guess, helping people with your songwriting.
This summer, Instacart presents famous summer flavors coming to your front door. Or pool. Or hotel.
Your grocery delivery has arrived, sir.
That was faster than room service.
No violence in the lobby.
Oh, seriously? Anyway, sit back, relax, and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Starring your favorite snacks, drinks, and more. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Rated H for hungry audiences. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be.
Yeah, I'm just like a massive fan of music, and like I've always have been. And my mom's a musician, so I've always had music in me. I've played music when I was a child. Like as soon as I could walk, I was like beatboxing and like tapping on things and making rhythms. So music's always been a massive part of my life. And when I got into high school and started, like, I had like really long bus rides to school, and all I do is listen to music. And like I was in class and I was just listening to music. All I do is listen to music. And so I became like super fans of artists. And I came to a stage where I was like, damn, like the way I feel about artists and the way certain people's music makes me feel, like I want to be able to do that for other people. I want to be able to be this artist that people can, take something away from their music. People can feel something. It can help people. So yeah, I knew I had music in me, so I just stuck to it. And it's very fulfilling knowing that it's actually, helping people.
What I can only imagine, 100%. The thing that I found most interesting when researching for today or having a look kind of into your story was that not only are you a songwriter, you're also a producer, and quite heavily into production, I believe, as well, as that you probably still do. If I've found the right quote, you're still doing about 80% of your own production?
Yeah, probably. The way I sort of started getting into production is when I first started wanting to make music and wanting to sing and rap and whatever, I would get YouTube beats and go on GarageBand on my phone and just like rap over them. And when I started getting a little bit more serious, I was like, I can't find the perfect beat. Like, I know what I want, but I can't find this on YouTube. So I was like, why don't I just learn to make it? So I started focusing super heavily on production. And as I started progressing in both, my artistry and my production as well, and my writing, I really feel like they all go hand in hand. And, now when I do work with people, I can, put myself in the producer's shoes, and I can help in that way. And it really I feel like it makes a better song, in my opinion. Yeah.
Well, I guess I imagine that having both of those skills and knowing both sides of the coin, if you will, is that it's helpful in achieving the best outcome for the song.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's yeah, I think the more knowledge, the better.
Yes, I would agree with that it probably does help you out in the outcome of the song. Do you have a preference? Actually, firstly, when you are inspired, is there something, are you a producer first and a songwriter second? Is there one that kind of comes first?
I'd say I'm an artist songwriter first. However, sometimes I feel like I'm just an artist first. Sometimes I like get super inspired by this beat I hear, and I'm like, damn, I want to make it. I just want to make a beat. I don't even want to rap on it. I want to sing on it. I just want to make a beat. But yeah, usually I think about it in a singer-songwriter standpoint, and create a beat around what I want to make, what I want to make a song about. But yeah, it just varies. I just love making, as I said, I'm a massive music fan. So sometimes I just mess around and make random beats for nothing.
Is that something that you'd look at doing in the future? Maybe like obviously your career aside, like making beats for other artists, for like Bieber or I know. So. Yeah,
I think so. I think so. I want to make sure it's at a stage where I'm, established enough as an artist first, because I want people to know me more. Like, it would be cool to be like, oh, this is Oliver Cronin as an artist, but he also makes these beats. Like, that's something that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I'm like totally. But every time I go and make a beat for someone else, I always end up using it. So I don't know how I'm going to do that.
I imagine that might just come with time. Once, as you said, once you're established as an artist, you've got that kind of back catalogue behind you. You're a bit more comfortable in producing beats for others.
Yeah.
We'll
see.
Before you mentioned TikTok, I would like to talk about, I guess, the utility of TikTok, if that makes sense, in the fact that artists these days can use it as a tool. I know that, as you mentioned, that the song's success was maybe somewhat attributed. Obviously, you are a very talented young gentleman, but somewhat attributed to those fans on TikTok to help give it that push as well.
100%.
I'm curious how you. Sorry, you go.
I was just saying, like, that Boys Don't Cry got a life on TikTok. That would, like, I'm sure it would have been a big song, but TikTok, is really helps a lot of my music.
Yeah, 100%. I'm curious for you as a creator who's found quite a bit of success on TikTok as a musician, how you feel that like it helps build that connection with fans. I think that there's been some videos where you've kind of chopped up or remixed your own tracks, or unreleased tracks, to kind of give fans that little bit of a preview. My favorite one, and how I think I originally came across you, was the AI video of what was it, Kid Laroi and Post Malone, and which is I think now at 10 million views, which is incredible. How do you find it as a utility, as a tool for musicians?
I think it's super important, and I mean, look, it's not for everyone, but I think for me, I found it's a really good way to engage and get very personable with your fans. It's a very personal app, I think, and I try and be myself as much as I can on the platform, so people can just see who I am as a person and not be too, I'm open with everything. I'm always honest, and I always make TikToks that are just about me and like who I am, and I think it gives the fans just like a more personable approach to me and see me more as, I don't know, a human being rather than just a musician. And yeah, I think it helps create bigger fans. You know what I mean? It helps create super fans, and I know for a fact that I love seeing my favorite artists on TikTok and seeing what they do and what they get up to. So I think it's for me, I know it's vital. I know there's a lot of artists that refuse it, and I get it, because it's a tough world in TikTok. Once you get too stuck into TikTok, it's a very tough world. But I thank TikTok for putting me here today.
In terms of talking about, we were discussing mental health before, men's mental health and everything else. I know that there can be sometimes like a bit of a burnout from social media as well. And I was wondering if you have any tips to finding that balance between obviously being able to connect with fans, utilize it for releasing music and having that connection, but also knowing when to not doom scroll for 5 hours and do that.
It's hard, and especially, you know, as a creator as well. Like I know, like I have so many friends that are creators as well, and it's like it's really hard because the way TikTok works, the way the algorithm works, it's such an up and down, it's such a wave, and you can be at a stage where every video you're posting is going viral and you're getting followers like every day, and it's going crazy, and then a week later you can be posting the same content and that will get like no views, no one will see it, and it's like it's such a roller coaster of emotions because one, you're on the top of the world, and the other minute you're nothing, and it's, you know, I guess I dealt with that a fair bit when I first started, and first, you know, I had my first viral moment, and then after that it was nothing, and it was like, I think just not getting too caught up in, you know, not getting too caught up in the highs and all the lows, and just focusing on, you know, being yourself and create, and, you know, doing what makes you happy. For me is I love making music, and you know, I'll just set my phone up and make a video of it. And if it does well, it does well. That's where I'm at the moment. So yeah, just not getting too caught up in the numbers game.
I think that's a very, very, very good, a very smart idea in terms of like obviously wanting to be involved, but not focusing too much on the numbers, unless your track is going 100K in a day, as we mentioned, and then please watch those numbers.
Please watch numbers. Yeah.
Oliver, with this EP coming out, I know that there's a lot of fans who are wondering whether you'll be playing any shows or touring in support of it, being able to see you live.
Yeah, I'm working really hard with it with my band at the moment, rehearsing, getting live shows set up. I have nothing announced at the moment, but I think next year is going to be a year where I do a lot of live stuff. I just want to make sure it's the right time and make sure that the show is as perfect as it could be before I jump into it. Yeah. But yeah, next 2023, you'll be seeing it.
I can appreciate wanting to kind of have the right logistics, the right setup for a live show. I think it's very important. So yeah, I respect that. I don't want
to rush into it, but I'm super excited. So we'll see.
I think there was what was it on YouTube? There was a live clip or a live performance on the, what was it? The circular, is it a barge?
Yeah, it was like a boardwalk in the middle of the Pink Lake out in West Victoria, and that made me even want to like perform live even more. Like that was so fun. It was an incredible setting, and the video came out incredibly. So if you want to see me live, for now you can go to my YouTube and watch that. That's a little tease of what's going to happen.
We will make sure that we put the link to that performance in the show notes of this podcast. So anyone listening to this, they'll be able to access it by just going to the episode. Oliver, usually we ask our guests what they're currently listening to. Is there anything at the moment that's on a high rotation for yourself?
My music?
Both your music and anything else you're listening to.
My music, Hope You're Doing Well, is my favorite song I've ever made, and that's the last track of my EP. The song's My Future Self. It's quite a deep song for me, so that's my favorite song of mine. I listen to so much music. This is hard. I'm just anything by Chase Atlantic. I'm loving at the moment. I'm a massive Chase Atlantic fan. So yeah, listen to Chase Atlantic. They're the best.
I will be making sure that fans will be able to listen to your music. In this podcast, we'll be putting the link to Beautiful Nightmare, the brand new EP from yourself, in there so people can download it, stream it, buy it, do whatever they want to do with it, but access it. But Oliver, thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much, Simon. I appreciate it.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to Oliver Cronin for his time. Beautiful Nightmare is out now, and we've left links in the show notes if you'd like to stream the EP or watch the YouTube performance. We also want to give a huge shout out to Thomas at Warner Music Australia for helping out with today's interview. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Wednesday and Friday morning, and we now have a Patreon, which you can find within the show notes of this episode. You can follow the Playlist profile on Spotify, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.
The most powerful designer drugs are the digital ones we use daily. And we get high off them. One touch, tap, like, scroll at a time. You know, just like tech creators want us to. Use digital without digital using you. Learn more at sync.ithra.com.